Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Giri Badajhare Gopi Janavalabha Giri Badajhare Yasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanacharte Yamuna Tera Bharachanti Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Ranam Balaba Giri Badajhare Gopi Janavalabha Giri Badajhare Vasudanandana Vragajana Ranjana Yasudanandana Vragajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanacharti Jamuna Tira Vanacharti Jayarandhu Madhava Kunjabihagati Jayarandhu Madhava Kunjabihagati Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Paravidakacharya also Tada Sachashi Shimad His Divine Grace Abhaya Charananda Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Jai Rem Se Gaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopi Gopinath Sayama Kunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavanam Ki Jai Machuradam Ki Jai Jagadada Swami Ki Jai Imanamai Ki Jai Shivati Lasadevi Ki Jai Samved Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Premananda Hari Hari. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Putale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurmani Charni Nivishesha Shunyavadi Paschatcha Deja Tarani. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 59th chapter, text 10, beginning with text 10. And pretty much the verses today are just describing the pastime rather than being 11, I'm sorry, text 11. Yeah, text 11, you're right. They're describing the pastimes and little philosophy, but mostly the pastimes. The narration is there. So we're going to go through a lot of verses today. So Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vyasu Papatam Vasi Kritas Shirsho Nikrita Shingo Adrir Evendra Tejasa Tashatmaja Sapta Pitur Vedatura Pratikriya Marsha Jusha Samudyata Yasupapatambasi Krita Shirsho Nakrita Shingo Drir Evendra Tejasa The Shatmaja Sapta Pitur Vedatura Pratikriya Marsha Jusha Samudyata Yasupapatambasi krita shirsho. The krita shringo dreary vendra tejasa. Tasyatmaja sapta piturvedatura. Patikriya marsha jusha samudjata. Yasuprapatambasi krita shirsho. Nikrita sringo dreary vendra tejasa. Tashyatmaja sapta piturvitur avidatura. Pratikriya marsha jusha samudjata. Okay. Okay. Vyatsu, lifeless. Papata, he fell. Ombasi, into the water. Krita, severed. Shirsha, his heads. Nikrita, cut off. Shringa, whose peak. Adri, a mountain. Iva, as if. Indra, of Lord Indra. Tejasa, by the power. That is by his thunderbolt. Tasha, his. Muras. Atmaja, sons. Sapta, 7. Pitu, of their father. Vada, by the killing. Atura, very distressed. Pratkriya, for retribution. Amarcha, fury. Jusha, feeling. Samudjitaha, aroused to action. Translation, lifeless, Mura's decapitated body fell into the water like a fountain, whose peak has been severed by the power of Lord Indra's thunderbolt. The demon's 7 sons, enraged by their father's death, prepared to retaliate. So you can repeat, lifeless. Mora's decapitated body fell into the water like a mountain whose peak has been severed by the power of Lord Indra's thunderbolts. The demon's 7 sons, enraged by their father's death, prepared to retaliate. So there's no purport by the followers of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. So we're going to read some of the commentaries, but first, Om Ganat Timidanda Shah Gadanshana Shlakaya Chakshu Unmiditam Yena Tosmai Shigurave Namaha. So for those who have not been following this story, this is the story of Krishna coming with Satyabhama on the back of Garuda to rescue the 16,100 princes that were kidnapped by Bhaumasura, who is Krishna's son, and also to get the earrings of Aditi, the umbrella of Varuna. What was the other one? The playground of the demigods, which is the Mani Parvata. That means the top of the hill, which is a jeweled hill. Anyway, so this is actually what's going on here. And so Mora is one of the guards surrounding the city. He has his sons there, and he has been killed by Krishna. So the commentaries by the Acharyas, pretty much same thing as the verse. It's not really commentaries. Filled with anger to avenge their father's death, Mura's 7 sons prepared for battle. Revenge. And so the head was like a peak of a mountain, cut decisively, Nakrita. Overcome with grief by the killing, the 7 sons became angry and ordered to take revenge and became eager to fight. So let's continue. Tamron tariksha shavano vibhavasur vasur navasvan arunascha saptama pitamburaskrita chamupatimrite bhuma prayukta niragandritayuda. Ordered by Bhaumasura, Mora's 7 sons, Tamra, Antariksha, Shravana, Vibhavashu, Vasu, Nibhaswan, and Aruna follow their general Pita onto the battlefield bearing their weapons. And Jiva Goswami comments in this regard. This verse reinforces the last verse. Saptamar indicates that there were no other brothers, only 7. They are individually named to indicate their qualities. They wanted to take revenge by their nature, but were also ordered to fight with Bhoma, who was eager to do this. In doing this, he shows that he thought the Lord was insignificant. So some of these names, Antariksha means in hiding, Shravana means to hear. Some of these names I know. Aruna means like the sun. So, Sanatana Goswami, okay. They held weapons, otherwise overcome with grief, losing all power of discrimination. They could leave the battle, ignoring everyone, or naturally anger to take revenge, enraged by Bhoma. Holding their weapons with Pitta in front, they left the city to fight or to the field midday. In other words, there's some indication here that under certain circumstances, and perhaps that was their inclination, they would have just been so much overcome by grief they would have left the battlefield. However, it's mentioned here that Bomasur is encouraging them. Come on, they killed your father. What are you going to do about this? You got to take some revenge. And so Bomasur awakens their desire for revenge. And of course, revenge doesn't really accomplish anything. It doesn't bring the father back to life. And we see that when one becomes overcome by this concept of revenge, that they lose their common sense. Just like there's one, anyway, in the Western world, Western religions, there's this concept of an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. And there's one person who said he was interested in peace, that if we follow this particular process, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, the whole world would be blind and toothless. So when a devotee has something done to him that he considers to be unfair, first of all, it's Krishna's arrangement. Secondly, it's Krishna's test to see his compassion. I mean, sometimes it is required, not out of revenge, but to uphold religious principles to fight. Just like Arjuna was encouraged to fight in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, not to take revenge on the Kauravas. I mean, Krishna could have done that. Krishna did that with Jayadrath and Arjuna, which is interesting. I'll tell that in the story. But as far as fighting the entire battle, Krishna didn't say to Arjuna, remember what they did to Draupadi? He said, fight for me religious principles, to uphold Dharma, Sarva Dharma, and follow my instruction. Now, later on in the battlefield, Krishna did use the revenge factor. It's very interesting. When Arjuna was fighting, two cases. Arjuna was fighting Karna. And what happened is that Karna had been cursed in two ways. One, he had been cursed by his spiritual master, Parashuram, because Karna had made believe that he was a Brahmin, to another, taken initiation from Parashuram, because Parashuram would not give initiation to a Kshatriya. He had this thing, this animosity toward Kshatriyas. I mean, he killed them all so many times. So, anyway, when Parashuram found out that Karna was actually Kshatriya by nature, even though ostensibly he was a charioteer's son, but that's another thing, then Parashuram cursed Karna that when it comes time for your ultimate battle, you're going to forget your mantras. Okay, one curse. Another time, Karna actually inadvertently killed a cow, and he got cursed by either a sage or the earth planet, that the earth would swallow his chariot when it came time for the ultimate battle. So Karna was there fighting Arjuna, and he was thinking, I'm going to win, and then all of a sudden his chariot wheel got stuck in the mud or in the earth. And so he got down from the chariot thinking, what was he thinking? He was thinking Arjuna's not going to fire any arrows because there's this chivalrous rule that you can only fight someone who has a weapon in their hand and is equally situated. You're on a chariot. He has to be on a chariot. You have a weapon. He has to have a weapon. So obviously, to free his chariot wheel from the earth, Karna had to get down and put down his weapon. So he was struggling with the wheel. And Krishna said to Arjuna, what do you say? Kill him. And Arjuna said, no! This is completely against the rules of Kshatriya Dharma. And then Krishna said, remember what he said about Draupadi. Remember that he took part in killing Ashwatam. And then Arjuna started, anyway, it was like revenge. Krishna was using that emotion. It's interesting, isn't it? Then the Bhagavad Gita, there's no question of revenge. But Krishna was using that emotion. All right, kill him. And so Arjuna just like got overcome with this desire to kill him because of what he had done. That's vengeance. And he did it. So that also shows us that when you become overcome with this idea of getting even with someone, you lose your intelligence. Of course, in that particular case, that loss of intelligence was inspired by Krishna, which is all right. But normal circumstances, don't say, Krishna made me angry. We hear this sometimes. Krishna made me angry. Krishna made me want to take vengeance. No. So that was there. Another time was with Jayadrath. Similar type of situation. That Arjuna had vowed to kill Jayadrath before the end of the day because Jayadrath had been responsible for holding off for the Pandavas. One day they had that Jayadrath had that benediction because Abhimanyu was entering into the Chakra Vyuha, and the Pandavas were supposed to protect Abhimanyu, and the Pandavas were held off by Jayadrath, so Arjuna took the vow, I'm going to kill Jayadrath this day, or else I'm going to kill myself. So anyway, that's the story. When Krishna made the sun appear to set, and then everybody put their weapons down, including Jayadrath and all the Kurus, and Jayadrath was without any protection. And so then Krishna revealed the sun again. And when Krishna revealed the sun again, Krishna said to Arjuna, kill him. Remember, he was responsible for Abhimanyu's death. So there's another vengeance thing there. It's interesting how Krishna did use vengeance. And of course, we find in Christianity, there's this statement that if someone hits you on one cheek, you turn the other cheek. You understand? So we tolerate. So for us, unless Krishna is directly telling us to be vengeful, we should turn the other cheek, understand, see Krishna behind everything. Like Parikshit Maharaj, who was cursed by Shringi, he could have counteracted that curse, become vengeful, but he accepted as Krishna's arrangement. Or the story of, was it Dharma the bull, who was being beaten by the personality of Kali, who had taken the guise of a king. And Dharma the bull, when he was asked by Parikshit Maharaj, who has done this to you? Dharma the bull replied in a very dharmic way. Philosophically he was replying. And ultimately he was implying that the Supreme Lord arranges everything. So anyway, so this is a very important lesson for us. Anyway, we'll continue with this narration here. Thought that was interesting. Text 13. Prayungjata sajja sharana singada shatrishti rishti shulyalani ajite risolvana Tashashtrakutam Bhagavan Swamarganar Amogaviryas Tilashash Jakartaha. These fierce warriors furiously attacked invincible Lord Krishna with arrows, swords, clubs, spears, lances, and tridents. But the Supreme Lord, with unfailing prowess, cut this mountain of weapons into tiny pieces with his arrows. Jiva Goswami comments, they attacked the Lord Ajite. Now, of course, Ajite, similar to Ajita, which means he cannot be conquered, but he can be conquered by the love of his devotees. Using various weapons. The weapons are progressively more effective in weight and ability to kill. Rishti is a type of sword. The Lord cut down all kutam of the weapons with his extraordinary swa arrows. And Sanatana Goswami, I'm just going to skip part of the commentary because it's repetitive. Because they became cruel, ubana, from anger. That's another point, cruel from anger. The weapons were progressively more effective in weight and ability to kill. So let's see. The Lord was able to cut down all these weapons because of his valor was unfailing, amoga virya. Since he had all powers, Bhagavan, ha indicates joy. And text 14. Tan pitta mukyan nanayadyamakshayam nakrita shirshor shoru abujangrivarman avarmana swanika panachuta chakrashayakais tatani rastan narakodorasuta. Niriksha Durmarshana Ashravan Madar Gajai Payodi Prabhavir Nirakramat. The Lord severed the heads, thighs, arms, legs, and armor of these opponents led by Pita and sent them all to the abode of Yamaraj. Nadakasura, the son of the earth, that's Bhaumasura, could not contain his fury when he saw the fate of his military leaders. Thus he went out of the citadel with elephants born from the milk ocean who were exuding mada from their foreheads out of excitement. And so Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur states, he sent them all to the kingdom of death. The real meaning is, however, that he gave them liberation, for yama means the process starting with yama and niyama and ending with liberation. That's interesting. Of course, yama means restrictions. That's the first one of the Ashtanga Yoga processes, and niyama is the second one. So yama means, of course, we have our yamas in the Krishna consciousness movement. What are they? The four regulative principles: no meat, fish, rugs, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling, are the primary yamas. And then we have secondary yamas: don't eat food cooked by people who are wicked, because your mind will become wicked. That's a secondary one. And then we have our niyamas, positive injunctions. You wake up early in the morning, you chant your rounds, you offer your food to Krishna. These are all positive. And of course, the yoga system, which is described by Krishna in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, in a very, very short description, he describes that, you go to a secluded place, you sit down on a kucha grass, a deer skin, and you control your mind, etc., like that. And so As far as the other processes in Hatha Yoga, it's Yam, Niyam, Asana, and Pranayam, that means breathing, Pratyahara, withdrawing the senses, Dharana, Jhana, Samadhi, like meditating or concentrating the mind, and Samadhi, complete absorption. Anyway, so this is, it's interesting, the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is relating this particular process, the yoga process, with complete absorption in Krishna, which occurs at Samadhi. Anyway. And Jiva Goswami says, they all went to the abode of Yama, they died. However, after that, they attained liberation. A little bit different point of view. Achyuta here means that his weapons were unfailing in their purpose. The leaders were killed, nirastan, by having their heads cut off, etc., with ease, from far away by the Lord's weapons. Boma saw this because he went up on top of the fort. He was called Naraka, because from birth he had a wicked nature. Nara, hellish means Nara. He had a hellish nature, taking human heads in his mouth as soon as he was born. The story is told in the Kalika Purana. He was the son of the earth and thus had great power. He emerged Nirakramat from the fort with elephants born from the milk ocean. In other words, he had special elephants. Somehow or other he had gotten those elephants. This means that the elephants came in the family of Airavata, who came from the milk ocean. Airavata is, of course, Indra's elephant. Previously, they were of that family, but now on the enemy's side. So text 15. Drishva sarvaryam garudo paristitam suryo parishtat satadin ganam yata krishnam satasmai vyasrijas shatagnim yodascha sarve yugapach just vivyatu. Lord Krishna and his wife, that was Satyabhama, mounted upon Garuda, looked like a cloud with lightning sitting above the sun. Seeing the Lord, Boma released his Shatagni weapon at him, whereupon all of Boma's soldiers simultaneously attacked with their weapons. Let's see, the commentaries are exactly the same as Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami says something a little different. Not different, but another angle. On seeing the Lord with his wife, Naraka became furious. Now the reason he became furious is because Krishna was thinking this is an easy battle, and Naraka understood that Krishna was just like minimizing his prowess. You know, the soldiers usually don't take their wives to the battle. You know, if you're taking your wife saying, you know, let's have a vacation, isn't this interesting? You know, I chopped off all of Mura's sons' heads, you know, send them all to the abode of death, and Mura lost his 5 heads. And, you know, they're just sitting there nonchalantly on the back of Garuda. And so when Naraka saw this, he thought, this guy is puffed up. He became furious. The second cha means api, even. His troops attacked at the same time, or even though he saw this beauty, he was hard-hearted. The troops were mounted on elephants or were just troops accompanying Naraka. Those with elephants were most prominent. They threw their weapons at the same time. Text 16. Tad Boma Shainyam Bhagavan Gadagrajo Vichitra Vajrair Anishitai Shili Mukai Nikrita Bahuru Shirodra Vigraham Jakarataryeva Hatashva Kunjaram. At that moment, Lord Gadagraja shot his sharp arrows at Bomasur's army. These arrows, displaying variegated feathers, soon reduced that army to a mass of bodies with severed arms, thighs, and necks. The Lord similarly killed the opposing horses and elephants. So here the Lord is displaying his chivalry and also the indirect ruse of ghastliness. Of course, that ghastliness was displayed to the highest degree by Lord Parshuram, who created lakes of blood from the Kshatriyas. So, let's see. Actually, the commentaries are exactly the same. So, text 17 to 19. Yani yudai payuktani shastrastrani kurudvaha haristanya chinat tikshnai sharair ekaika shastrivir uyamana suparnena pakshavyam nigdatagajan gurut Bata anyamanas tunda paksha nakergaja puram eva vishanarta narako yudyata. Lord Hari then struck down all the missiles and weapons the enemy soldiers threw at him. O hero of the Kurus, destroying each and every one with 3 sharp arrows, with each sharp arrows. Meanwhile, Garuda, as he carried the Lord, struck the enemy's elephants with his wings. Beaten by Garuda's wings, beak, and talons, the elephants fled back into the city, leaving Narakasura alone on the battlefield to oppose Krishna. And the commentaries here, after describing cutting up the arms of the enemy troops, cutting up of their weapons is described. Astras are arrows and other missiles, and shastras are swords and other hand weapons. One by one he shot down each weapon with 3 arrows. Before the weapons thrown could reach their target, he had killed the throwers of the weapons and then destroyed the missiles while they were still in the air, each with 3 arrows. And the arrows were shot one after the other, not 3 at once. So quick was Krishna to shoot that, in amazement, Shukadev cried out, "Oh, Kuru Dwaha, Parikshit!" Such swiftness had not been conceived by any of the Kurus, such as Bhima and Arjuna, though they had been taught by Krishna. And Jiva Goswami's commentary, a little bit different. Let's see. The Lord was carried on Garuda, who flew here and there with great speed at ease. This appeared most glorious and indicates Garuda's power. Though he was carrying the Lord with his wings, he beat the elephants. From this, it is understood that the fighters were not riding on the elephants. The elephants were situated separately. Some were killed and some were injured. Naraka, remaining in the battle, Vyudi continued to fight. This indicates that he was fearless. And Sanatana Goswami's commentary is the same. Oh, Garuda uses claws, too. Anyway, so, talons. Yeah, it says here claws, but it's talons. It's actually talons with birds. Okay, all glories to His divine grace. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindadalaya Taksham Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalem Priya Priti Manti Vasyan Dipan Dikayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham
Namago Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Samini Namante Namaste Saraswati Deve Bhavani Vacha Neke Nivasesha Shunyavade Vasacha Jasatanande Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jai Advaita Pradana Sivasati Gaurmata Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Brahma Nityananda Vaita Pradana Sivasati Gaurmata Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Rama Nityananda Radha Shiva Sari Gaurmata Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hey!
Chaitodarpanamarjanam Bhavamahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrikavitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipanam Pranamrita Swaranam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smarane Nakala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trinada Pi Sunichena Charora Pi Suhishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhakti Hoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kripayata Vabada Pankaja Stita Duli Sajashim Vachintaya Nayanam Gadushu Daraya Varanam Gad Gadurudaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanamagahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jayat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishyava Badamritam Banastumam Adarshanam Marmahatakarotiva Yatatava Vidadatulam Batomat Prananatastusa Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan. It cleanses all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we were always anxious. Oh, my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I'm so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my hair stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me brokenhearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything. Glories, glories, worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Shri Shastra Ki Jai.